problems have, of course, and nobody hates the good ones, they hate the great ones. So haters, of course, are a good problem to have, and nobody hates the good ones, they hate the great ones. There's a quote from Kobe Bryant, the late, yes, famous for basketball. And good morning to you, wherever you're doing and listening from. Thank you so much for join in and choosing us. We are simply the best. We are Starr 103.5 FM, and our show is live on Facebook. It's time to bring you the latest news in the world of sports. Of course, obviously we'll start from the State of the Nation address, because President Mahama, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, yes, has come out, and yesterday it was a lengthy State of the Nation address, very important one. And when he got to sports, yes, most of us increased the volume. We listened a lot, and we heard what he's been saying. Well, we're bringing all he's been saying. Of course, he's been speaking on the Ghana Football Association, yes, and he's revealed a number of things that they intend to do. The establishment of a sports authority for schools. Yes, a school sports authority. We'll get to listen to the president speak. Then we'll move to some golf stories, because Ghana, we do have a Ghanaian professional golfer, Daniel List. Yes, he's been in Ghana after meeting Tiger Woods for the first time. Yes, and then he's been meeting the press. We'll get to listen to him as well, and then we'll also move on to the foreign scene, bring you some other fixtures coming up in the FA Cup, and then of course we'll also move to the La Liga, because it is getting interesting. The new GOAT is going to be in action this weekend. I'm talking about Anthony. Right, it is Friday, and we always do with some chama. You're still live here on Starr 103.5 FM. My name is Jones, ADZI. It is time to bring you the latest in the world of sports. We start off from President John Dramani Mahama. He has revealed that the government is going to establish a school sports authority that will oversee structured inter-school competitions and talent identification initiatives essential for nurturing future sports champions. So the president was speaking when he was delivering the State of the Nation address. So let's get to listen to him speak on sports, the plans he has for sports, and especially the infrastructure that they look to improve, and then bring new ones, especially the new youth resource centers.
A comprehensive national sports policy to align with international norms. This policy will be accompanied by an exhaustive review of the Sports Act of 2016, that is Act 934, and the rigorous enforcement of the Sports Regulations 2023 LI 2477. Infrastructure development remains paramount in our strategy. The government is committed to refurbishing existing national stadia, completing youth resource centers, and constructing new sports facilities in the new regions. We'll also prioritize community recreational facilities to foster greater participation in sports at the grassroots level. Recognizing the critical role of youth development, we're implementing a significant overhaul of grassroots sports with the establishment of the School Sports Authority. This body will oversee structured inter-school competitions and talent identification initiatives essential for nurturing future sporting champions. Over 60% of Ghana's elite athletes have emerged from these school sport programs. The ministry has now been renamed the Ministry of Sports and Recreation. To acknowledge the significance of recreation, we will launch a National Recreation Day. This will be a monthly initiative centered on community engagement alongside an annual National Recreation Festival. These initiatives will encourage keep fit activities and promote active lifestyles. It will promote traditional games and strengthen community bonds.
Well, the president also added that he's instructed the Ministry for sports to hold the GFA accountable to the people of Ghana as the Black Stars prepare for their World Cup qualifiers. The president also added that the budget presented by the FA and other associations must be known by the public.
The senior national team, the Black Stars, which is now a pale shadow of its former glory, will play 2 World Cup qualifying matches. I've instructed my office and the Minister for Sports and Recreation to hold the Ghana Football Association accountable to the people of Ghana as we prepare for these games, especially regarding the budget of the FA. There will be no secrecy in how much the government spends on the national teams. The budgets presented by the FA and other sports associations must be known by the public. After all, it is the taxpayers' funds that are used to fund these activities. Expenditure and waste reduction applies to all sectors of the economy, including the Ministry of Sports and Recreation.
So that was President John Mahama. Before we move to other sports, quick one from Sports Atom, who's joined us here. Sports Atom, good initiative, GFA, to let us know. I mean, if the government is going to spend 2 million, you know, the last AFCON, before the last AFCON, we didn't know how much we were going to spend there. And then after the AFCON, that was when it was revealed that this was the amount that we spent. But then this is what the President Mahama is saying. What do you make of it? Quick one.
I think in a sense of we making sure that we are being accountable to the people, that is one of the ways we need to adapt. And the national teams are being sponsored by the government. So if government has made it clear that every penny will be accounted for, then it also reflects on the national team. Remember when they said no government appointee will use the business the first class flight?
It applies to.
So I think it's cool. So that to take away that talkable topics about when the Black Stars is traveling, how much are we spending, and then
are we not interfering? I mean, in the GFA business?
No. Now that there's a thin line between that. The national team is being financed by government. However, government said you are going for a tournament. The Blast is going to play in 2 weeks' time. So okay, I'm giving 1 million Ghana cedis to do it.
Okay.
It is a public purse, so definitely to be in the public space that this is the amount that we are going to spend, so that it will also enforce or make sure that whatever they are doing in terms of accountability is there. So I think it's a good initiative, and I'm really grateful the president have said this. It shouldn't be.
You think it will work?
It will work.
Okay.
Of course, if the president says and you don't want to, then that means you don't respect the laws of the land. So clearly, I believe. Any
updates from the schools happening in Kumasi?
Yes, the one in Kumasi is going on really well, and I think CIMS again and again they are showing for that. When you go to Kumasi, one of the schools that they are really focused on in terms of sports, that's the entire match. And they managed to win some of the races. So I'll go through the categories, but I want to start off from Cape Coast so that it will be really simple. You know, people are now comparing the attendance in Cape Coast to that of
Kumasi.
I understand where they are coming from, but in Cape Coast yesterday, the 4x200 meters final was on Infante Pin Boys. I mean, they won. The leader was Joseph and the Kofi. They managed to win, and of course the famous you celebration
happened
there. So they managed to grab the win there. And they also the 200 meters final was also on, and guess what? The same Joseph Andor of Infante Pin managed to win. So
again,
I think
the guy is good. The guy is good.
They are on top. And when you go to Kumasi, one event that really caught the eyes of people, and they began to raise questions that the government should pay attention to, was Roland Kwabena Yeboah. The guy made another record of being the longest high jumper. The record he set. So the time is not out yet. You know, it will take time.
To get that. But then
he has set that record and looking at it very well, it's unprecedented, and they are trying to inculcate and do something. But this morning, when I was entering to the state, there's an update from Kwabena. The alumni of Infantipim wants to ensure that the guy will be taken to abroad after school. Then he will continue the athletics. So I think it is. But the finals will be on today.
And then it promises to be exciting. Of course, I mean, we'll bring in updates on the game. At 1 p.m. All right, thank you so much, Sports Atom, with the updates from Kumasi and then Cape Coast regarding the inter-school sports athletics festival happening right about now. Right, let's move on to golf, because professional Australian Ghanaian golf athlete Daniel List, or golfer Daniel List, who made his PGA World Tour this year after being invited by golf legend Tiger Woods, says it was the greatest honor of his life when he met Tiger Woods.
Receiving the phone call and being told that Tiger Woods has chosen you to come and compete I still get goosebumps about it. It was a very special moment. Very proud of that. Yeah, he's my hero in the game, so I couldn't have been more excited. So that's the exemption that Tiger Woods has a hand in, and he chooses who he'd like to invite, because the Genesis is an invitational. So that's where he named it after Charlie Sifford, who's a legendary player in the game of golf, and he bestowed the invitation, the exemption.
Well, List, who began his golfing career right here in Ghana, says that although the sport is an expensive one, it depends on the location, and he believes that it is possible for anyone to become a professional golfer.
It's actually an expensive sport, depending where you are in the world. There are places in the US where it's actually relatively cheap to get started in the game, thanks to the programs that they have in place, like the first team. The real thing that it comes down to is the starting costs. So, and that can be as expensive or as cheap as you make it, based on what golf clubs you get. You can go and find some old golf clubs that'll do the job when learning. But if at the grassroots level, you can make it inexpensive if you have the right things in place, which is why the Daniel List Foundation is formed, because over time we're trying to make it as accessible as possible for the youth. And for sort of the older people, the non-juniors, there are ways to get started for cheap, but it kind of comes down to where you are.
That was Daniel List. Well, he also spoke on how Ghana has talent in the sports and how possible it is to develop the sports in our parts of the world.
Even when I've spoken to people involved in sport within the government, even there's definitely been some contact about that, and I think the concern with, even when I've spoken to people involved in sport within the government, even they will say it's a bit too football focused. So I think there's no reason why Ghana doesn't have the environment for golf. I've got to the point where I am, and this is where I learned how to play. I think we had even worse facilities back when I was growing up. We didn't even have a driving range. Now we do. That's a huge step in the right direction. There does need to be fairly significant investments in it. With as far as the golf courses, they could be kept in condition that would be more alike to where the courses you would see in the US or.
Was Daniel List, yes, the man who met Tiger Woods this year at the Salford event, and I mean, congratulations to him. He's hoping to maintain his card and be part of the 150 golfers in the world. Let's hope that it happens for him there. Let's move on to the Division 1 league, because Atrambe Visa will take on True Democracy today at 3 p.m. and then we'll see Golden Cake face Rainmasters tomorrow. Nania FC will also take on Great Olympics at the Legon Nania Park. So Nania FC up against Accra Great Olympics tomorrow at exactly 3 p.m. at the Legon Nania Park, and on Sunday we'll see Kotoku Royals take on Inter Allies. Kofrida Semperfi face in Akachi All Stars. So Semperfi would be at the Kofrida Sports Stadium and welcome Akachi All Stars. Kings Palace would be at the Akotes Park and play Port City. We'll see Home Stars at the Whole Sports Stadium taking on Nagor FC, and then Hokwe United would be their league leaders. They'll be at the Hokwe Sports Stadium and take on Okwewu United. All right, now let's move on to the FA Cup, because the fifth round of the Emirates FA Cup in England would continue tonight we'll see Aston Villa take on Cardiff City at exactly 8 p.m. and tomorrow we'll see Crystal Palace face Millwall, Preston North take on Burnley, and then we'll see Bournemouth up against Wolverhampton Wanderers on a Saturday at 5:45 p.m. Manchester City play Plymouth Agile. Don't forget that they actually eliminated Liverpool. So we'll see Manchester City up against Plymouth in there on Saturday. And on Sunday, Newcastle United play Brighton Hove Albion. And on Sunday, Manchester United face Fulham at exactly 4:30 p.m. And then on Monday, Nottingham Forest play Ipswich. In the La Liga, Real Valladolid take on Las Palmas. Girona plays Celta de Vigo. Rayo Vallecano face Sevilla. Real Betis take on Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid. So big game. Real Betis taking on Real Madrid tomorrow at exactly 5:30 p.m. We'll see Anthony up against other Brazilians like Rodrigo, and then of course Vinicius Jr. Atletico Madrid take on Atletico Club tomorrow, or Real Bilbao, we love to call them. So Atletico Madrid up against Atletico Bilbao tomorrow at 8 p.m. Leganes take on Getafe. Barcelona play Real Sociedad on Sunday at exactly 3:15 p.m. and then Mallorca face Alaves. Osasuna take on Valencia, and then on Monday we'll see Villarreal play Espanyol. In the Bundesliga, Stuttgart take on Bayern, and tonight at exactly 7:30 p.m. St. Pauli will take on Dortmund tomorrow, and then we'll see Leipzig face Mainz 05. Werder Bremen play Wolfsburg. Heidenheim take on Mönchengladbach. Bochum face Hoffenheim. We'll see Frankfurt play Leverkusen. Union Berlin take on Kiel, and then we'll see Augsburg face Freiburg. Fiorentina take on Lecce in the Serie A. Atalanta play Venezia. Napoli take on Inter Milan tomorrow at 5 p.m. Big game. Napoli taking on Inter Milan. The battle for who wins the Scudetto is on, and I would see how it goes. So Napoli taking on Inter Milan tomorrow. And the Udinese play Parma. Monza face Torino. Bologna take on Cagliari. Genoa play Empoli. Roma would face Como. And AC Milan take on Lazio, another big game. And then on Monday night, we'll see Juventus face Verona. And in the French League, and AS Monaco face Rennes. We'll see Saint Etienne take on Nice. Play Le Havre. We'll see PSG up against Lille tomorrow, and then Lyon face Brest. Montpellier take on Rennes. Angers play Toulouse. O'Hare take on Strasbourg. Marseille would also face Nantes. Let's move to some non-football stories because Emma Raducanu will compete at the Indian Wells tournament despite a recent stalking ordeal in Dubai. The 22-year-old Brit was shaken after a man displayed fixated behavior towards her during the Dubai Tennis Championship, later receiving a restraining order from police. Raducanu, who is ranked 55th, gained direct entry into the prestigious event, which begins on the 5th of March. Following the incident, concerns were raised about player security, and she's expected to have increased protection at the Indian Wells. The WTA has a security team led by former U.S. Secret Service agents, offering enhanced measures for players facing credible threats. In there, and Yannick Sinner's nomination for the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award has been withdrawn following his 3 months doping ban. The Italian tennis star accepted the ban after reaching a settlement with the World Anti-Doping Agency over 2 positive drug tests. Sinner's ban from February 9th to May 4th was linked to contamination with the banned substance clostebol, which an independent investigation found was caused by his physiotherapist. Despite being cleared of intentional wrongdoing, the Laureus Academy decided to withdraw his nomination, deeming the ban ineligible. So the awards nominees will be announced on the 3rd of March. And to some Formula One news, because Lewis Hamilton is adapting well to his new Ferrari. Finishing second fastest on day 2 of preseason tests in Bahrain, just behind Williams' Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc was third, while Mercedes' George Russell and rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli followed in 4th and 5th place. Red Bull's Liam Lawson replaced Max Verstappen for the day, finishing 7th, and then McLaren are focused on long runs with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris placing 13th and 14th. Despite Sainz's top time, Williams downplayed their competitiveness with Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and then McLaren expected to lead in there. And to some quick basketball news, because San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich has announced he will not return this season after suffering a mild stroke on November 2nd at the team's arena before a game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The 76-year-old who has coached the Spurs since 1996 and is the NBA's all-time win leader has been focusing on recovery, and assistant coach Mitch Johnson has led the team to a 22-30 record in his absence. Popovich praised Johnson and the players for their resilience and professionalism during a challenging season. While he remains hopeful about returning to coaching in the near future, his priority is his health. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer and has led the Spurs to 5 NBA titles and guided Team USA to Olympic gold title in Tokyo. They're right, so that should do it for sports this morning. Do join us on the game at 1 p.m. Yes, we'll preview the weekend, all the action in the weekend, and then we'll get to delve into some issues, speak to some people concerning what President Mahama has been saying. Do you think it is fair that the GFA's budget, or the budget given to the GFA, whatever that is given to the GFA, is made public? Well, we'll delve into matters like that. My name is Jones, ADZI. This is Starr 103.5 FM, and we're outside.